Access. Stay tuned.
Christian Access. Stay tuned.
Christian Access. This is the program that believes in community involvement, community affairs, and most of our guests that you will be seeing in the future are people that are entrepreneurs and also people that are involved in the community. On today, we have a special guest with us. He is the pastor and the prelate pastor of Salvation and Deliverance Church at 1970 Marmion Avenue, which is located here in the Bronx between Southern Boulevard and East Tremont. Today, we have with us Apostle Louis D. Bligen. How are you, Apostle?
Bless you, sir. How are you?
Okay, good. Thank you so much for, coming out and helping with the program.
My pleasure.
And the purpose of this is to introduce you to the Bronx community. You are a man of God, and you've been doing work in the Bronx for how long? About 33 years. 33 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you've served your community under several different levels, which is what we're going to be talking about here on today.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, myself, I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born in Charleston, South. I came up to New York at the age of 14 years old. Went to high school, Benjamin Franklin High School.
Mm-hmm.
And came out of Benjamin Franklin High School, got me a job at Fordham Hospital, which is not Fordham Hospital anymore. And from Fordham Hospital, when I worked there, I became a supervisor at the hospital. And that's where I started. My life started right there in the hospital, Health and Hospital Corporation. And for me, it was a great challenge. It was a great challenge because I had to see a lot of stuff in the hospital that I'd never seen before.
Okay.
Meet a lot of different people, a lot of different people from all areas. And my background, well, it wasn't used to that when you was down south. You didn't have all that when you see in New York. When you see it in New York, it's a big difference. So I appreciate what I had. Thank God for that, because down south you appreciate everything you have, but when you come to New York, it's a different spotlight. But I appreciate what I had, and it taught me a lesson to go further in life and better myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Now, and speaking about when you came up, now there's an interesting thing that I found out about you was that you played a lot of sports. You were a fantastic basketball player, and also I think, if I'm not mistaken, you could have been recruited to play for the Jets or for the Giants. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was playing football when I came to New York. I was on a football team, and I was good. And they saw how good I was, so they told me I can go up to New York Jets training camp, try for the Jets.
Okay.
So I was going to try for the Jets, and what really happened was that my mother took sick. So I decided not to go. I decided to stay and just make sure my mother was fine. And I played football for 6 years, and played basketball. Played basketball, and I coached the Great Abyssinia Baptist Church basketball team under the late.
Okay, that was a major team back in the day. Yeah.
Back in those days, yeah. Abyssinia, we went to the Bronx River Project. We played against a group called the Black Spades. We beat them on the basketball team, and we had to run out after the game was over because they was threatening us to beat us up. So we had to run to the train station at that time. And I thank God for the experience and that I had in those times. It was great for me. But this is something I decided not to do, and I'm glad I make the right choice.
Right. So you really came up, as an urban city, youth. So that's one of the ways of how you can relate to some of the things that some of the young people is dealing with on today.
You see, Benjamin Franklin High School had guys like Steve Burr, Gary Springer, Earl Manigault. They was basketball players in that school at that time when I was going.
Oh, okay.
So I got a good chance to see them, watch them play. community involvement and commitment to serve the community. And I thank God I'm there to serve the community, because you never know who need help.
Right.
People in the neighborhood, in the community need help, and sometimes people don't want to say anything. But as the church is there, the church is like a light to the community. So when you're a light to the community, you have to reach everybody, black, white, Spanish, red, whatever color they are. You have to reach everybody, because God have no respectable person.
Amen.
So as a leader, it's my job to try to get in the community and try to get to know people, who let them know the church is there. Anybody need any help, you come to the church and help, and we'll talk to you. We'll sit there and pray for you, and be glad to see you come, because in the community, you don't find too many good churches in the community anymore. You find churches but not doing nothing, and people need help. People don't have no place to stay, they don't have no clothes, but people need help. So the church is like a light to the community, and that's why I want the church to continue to be a light, because we want to help everybody in the community. It don't make no difference where you are, where you're from, but we still want to help you.
And as being one of your members, one of the things that I do notice is that, especially as of late, you're getting like a lot of Spanish parishioners coming to the church now. Some of them, they speak very little English. Some of them speak English well, but it seems like they enjoy the services.
And that's what we got to realize as leaders. Regardless who comes to your church, there's still God person. There's still one person, and God still loves them. Whether we speak English, Spanish, whatever our language is, we still got to treat them all the same, so they all can feel love when they come to the church.
Yes.
When a person comes to the church, they come to look for love. If they don't see it, they're not going to stay. So everybody got to be like on one accord, one mind in the church. So when they come, they can see the love of God in the church, and they feel at home, because you don't want nobody to leave. That's a soul involved. That soul is more important than anything else when they come down to Christ. Because they need love too also.
And one of the things that I do notice too is that after the services are over, you always hear some of the visitors say that they felt so welcome.
Right.
And that's very important.
What I do after the service, I'll ask the visitors to stand and ask them would they have remarks. But most churches don't do that. The reason why I do that, ask the visitors to stand, because you want them to feel welcome and you want them to feel wanted. So the Bible says he that wins souls is wise. So if you try to get them to see that you care and you love them, they'll come back and they'll spread the word to their friends, their mothers, their sisters, and brothers. That's what I do.
Very good, Apostle. What are your goals for the people of the community in which you serve? After knowing you for so many years, I know you always have something. I know some things you can't talk about right now because they're in the process, but you always have something going on, and I know you got a few goals going on.
Well, my goal for the people in the community is for the church and the community all to come together. Like we can have a service where everybody will be in the street. We all laugh and fellowship with one another to reach everybody in the community, because the church and the community is very important, and the people in the community is very important too. If they see that the church is reaching out to them, and they see that you can touch the lives of people, even if you know they have death, the church is there to go try to support them and let them know that you're not by yourself. Because sometimes people may not understand what you're doing, but if they see a leader or a pastor go out and reach out to them in the community, then they be saying that's a good man. So my goal is to reach out for the grown folks, the little kids. We want to have something to attract the little kids, like clowns and horses, and so they could be wanted to also. You got to reach everybody, because everybody is very important. And when you don't reach everybody, you have to go home and sit back and think, did I get everybody? was doing.
Yeah.
So it's good when you get them all excited to have it. You don't have to know that, that you're not wanted. You are loved by everybody that come to the church, and you will love you. And the young people were so excited. And I'm glad we are planning to give another plate for the young people, because they have to know what God means to them. Because they come to church sometimes, but they don't know what the real specific meaning of God love to them. See, God loved them too, but that's why we got to bring them to Sunday school as parents and make sure they get in their Bible and study their Bible so they can know how much God really loved them, because God loved little children. The Bible said, train a child in the way of the Lord, so when they get older, will not depart from the faith. So it's our job to train them now, catch them now before the world do, and we don't want that.
Yes, yes. Now, I believe that you might have some youth advisors, and I believe that the First Lady, she is the president over...
Our First Lady, Evangelist Bligen, is the president. She's the president. One of the youth advisors, Evangelist Young, and one of the gentleman, Minister Mike Hillstock, and Sister Jewel, and Monique Savage. They all work with the young people, and they're doing a splendid job. And we thank God for them, because they're diligent working with them. They have youth service the last Friday of every month, where all the youth and the young people come together, where they fellowship, they invite preachers wherever they want, and they praise God. They read scriptures. We ask them to read scriptures, and in February we have Black History Month, where they pick a topic of any Black history well known, and they cite it to the church, and we try to reach everybody.
And it also sounds like the interest is really there for the youth, and also I believe it might have been in the spring or maybe late fall or early summer, somewhere around there. I had the pleasure of bringing my son to one of the events that you guys were having, where you took them down to the Intrepid.
Right.
What was that like?
Well, we decided, the youth advisors and myself and First Lady decided to take them down to Intrepid, down in the museum down in mid-Manhattan. And it was a great experience, because they had the old ships and the submarines and the plane back in the days that nobody never seen. So they were very experienced. We took them there, and we went through the submarine. We went through to see all the planes, and they were so excited. And to see that their plane and the ship was built different. We saw the spaceship that went up to the mountain, to the moon, and we did all that, and they were so excited after that. When they got through seeing all that, we took them downstairs, their youth advisors and myself and everybody else. We fed them and gave them something to eat, and we got on the bus. We had a good bus driver, and the youth was really excited, so we want to do more with them, because some have never been to the Intrepid, and the Intrepid was a great experience. It's a great museum. If you got kids, I advise you to take them there so they can see what they was doing back in the days with the airplanes and the submarines and things that is more modern now. Technology has really changed, but they need to see what they was doing back in the days, and the youth was so excited about it. I'm so glad they were so excited, because we need to take time out with our young people, because we have to remember that we was young. When we was young, we want our parents to take us everywhere. Your parents, your godmother want to take us everywhere. So now we got to take time out with some of these kids, because some of them came from broken homes. They don't have no family. They don't have no father. They don't have no mother. They might have a mother, but daddy's gone. They don't have a daddy, but mother's gone. So we have to take time out with them. And the church is like a pillow. You got to learn how to comfort them and give them a passion of love.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, while you were talking, I was just thinking that the world would be a much better place for us if more people took an interest, not only in their youth, but everyone. You know, the church, as far as I know, is filled with love, and we have a pastor. You know, there's a pastor that's there in the church that's concerned about people, concerned about their soul, you know. So I have another question for you. How rewarding has it been in being a pastor in your community?
Well, when I came to the church, I started off as a member of the choir. Well, when I became pastor, I found out that it was a different stage for being a pastor and being a member. A pastor, you got to have passion. You got to have love for everybody, not just only your wife, but you got to have love for everybody. When I found out about being a pastor, that you have to love what you're doing. people that are concerned. So I thank God that God placed me there in that church, because it's like now the home from home. And my people and my members in the church are very nice. We have a difference, but thank God for them. They are nice. They reach out and they support you whenever you want something done. So it was a good experience for me there. I would trade my members in for the world, because they are that's what the Lord had gave to me, and I thank God for them because I love them and they show some love to me. And I thank God that God kept us there, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being the pastor of the church, because God had really blessed me with good people.
Yes. Amen. Amen, Apostle. You know, and it's like it's always good to know that you have a pastor that loves and cares about you so much, which leads me to something else. You are so involved in your community till I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I hope I'm not mistaken, the 48th Precinct has made you officially their liaison. Tell us about your involvement with the 48th Precinct.
Well, the 48th Precinct, how I got involved with the 48th Precinct was that I had to go to community board service, and they have service the last meeting at the last Tuesday every month. So I had to go and got involved, and what they do, they give you application to be a clergy liaison, and they don't pick everybody, they pick a selected few.
Okay.
So I was one of the liaisons that they picked to be a clergy liaison. Okay, what a clergy liaison is do if you have an emergency in New York City, if somebody need counseling, or somebody gets shot, or somebody need comfort by a priest, they have a liaison, they give you a liaison, clergy liaison jacket. Scream emergency, come, you put that jacket on to identify yourself that you're a clergy liaison. So what I do, I get involved with the clergy liaison. And so what we do, clergy liaison, we have meetings every month. We go down to one police plaza, we meet with the commissioner. Sometimes the mayor be there, we sit out and talk, and they talk about how the clergy is very important to the community. The community need the clergy, and the clergy need the commissioner, and we need the police department. We all got to work together. I work at the 48th Precinct, but we're not looking at the uniform, because the uniform, they're human beings. And we still got to show love to them, because although they have a gun on the side, that don't mean, amen, they don't need love. And we as ministers and pastors and leaders, we have to, as a liaison, as I'm a liaison, I got to work with them in any capacity that they ask me to do. And I really enjoyed being a liaison, because a liaison is a good open eye for me, and a good experience. It showed me the value of what they do and what I have to do. So my job is to be there as a liaison in all aspects. I got to be there to pray for them. I got to be there to talk to them. I got to be there to counsel to them. We only have meetings at Police Plaza. We just had a meeting last month on Fordham Road at the library, where all the cops and the commanding officer all came together, and we met there. And I had the opportunity to meet the new district attorney, Clark, that came to the Bronx, and we thank God for her. We got to pray for her, that God will give us strength, because it's not an easy task. But we all can get it done if we all work together as liaisons, and we can't be so high-minded because you're a liaison. That means you don't want to go to a meeting. We all have to attend and participate, because it's very important that all churches work together, regardless of what denomination you are. We all got to be one in Christ.
Now, let me ask you something. Now, you said that it's important that we all have to participate. Now, I hope I'm not out of line by asking this, and please forgive me, Apostle, if I am. How many of us usually come at, like to those
when we
meetings?
Have meetings or community board meetings, you don't see too many of us. You only see us when rallies and somebody gets shot or killed. All lives matters, regardless of what you think about. All life matters. But it's very important that we come to meetings and share our opinion with everybody, because there's something in your neighborhood, in your community, I do not know. There's something in my neighborhood where my church says you don't know. So if we all put our head together and come together, because we as a majority of black leaders and pastors, we all got to come and sit down and break bread together, because that's what Jesus would want. And we don't do that. We pick days that we want to go to a meeting, or we send people. But sometimes it's good that we go so people can see our face, because sometimes we have a church in the community that people don't know who we are, because they never see the pastor. Okay, we can't be so busy that we don't have time to fellowship and go to meetings and meet with other people in the community, because it's very important. It's a blessing for your church, and what that do is strengthen your church and strengthen your your people in the community.
That's very important,
Yeah.
you know, because I like what you said about the police officers have to be respected too, because after all, they are people. I had an incident a few years ago where, you know, like where a house was burglarized, you know, and so the experience that I had was that the police officers didn't seem to be, you know, like so involved or whatever, but they did come. But one of the things that I noticed is that when something happens to us, we're quick. We're quick to call, you know, for the police. But then when something happens on the other side, how many of us come together and, you know, like try to help out and like in our communities and rally, you know, to say, well, you know, we have to go through the whole investigation, you know, but sometimes the only time when you see people come together or they rally is when something happens to them in their community. But there's communities that are all around us where we all should be involved in, and it should be important to all of us, you know. And I tell you, that's why I thank, you know, I thank God for preachers like yourself who they're interested in hearing both sides of the story. You know, we are all human. We all have to come together, you know. Now, I got one more final question, and then I'd like for you to maybe take like the last word, you know, give us, you know, bless us, grace us with the last word, Apostle, with, you know, towards our community. You and First Lady Bligen are celebrating your anniversary as Pastor and First Lady of the church. Tell us how it feels to be blessed to have served in the positions that you guys are in now.
Well, I am blessed because my wife, Brandis Gail Bligen, I met her at Fordham Hospital, and I met her there. And from there, we got united in marriage. And she is very important to my life because some days when I didn't feel like nobody cares, she was there to lift me up and to tell me that I can make it. She was very important to the ministry, and she loved the church. And we got married, and I thank God for her because she's been my wife for 39 years.
Wow.
And August the 20th will be 39 years, and I thank God for that because it wasn't easy. We had little bumps in the road. When you get married, marriage is not going to be perfect. You're going to have a little bump in the road, but I thank God she stuck in there with me through all of my trials and tribulation. She was there with me through the church. Whatever I decided to do for the church, she didn't question it. She didn't talk about it. She supported, whether she didn't like it, she supported 100%. And I thank God for her because when I get out of line, she pulled me back in line. And you know, that's what you need when you got to go strong. Why to pull you back in line? Takes no, don't do that. But I thank God for her. And this year in August 20th will be 39 years, and she's an encouraging wife, and I thank God for her. And because we play a very important part of the church. She loved the church, and there's no different animals. There's nothing she wouldn't do for the church. And I know that she would love to see the church, just young people excel, everybody in the church, and I thank God for her because the church has really been a blessing to me. You know, really been a blessing to me. So thank God that God saw fit to keep me there 33 years. Because if it had not been for grace of God that kept me there 33 years, I would never make it. It was God's grace, not my grace.
Yes.
It was God's grace that kept me there 33 years. So I have to give God all the praise and the glory for that because He did it, not me. And I'm thank God I was able to serve 33 years in spite of all the trials and tribulations I had. God kept me there.
Now, you said something that was very interesting to me where you said that you're coming up on 39 years. 39 years. Give us a little something for the married people out there.
39 years of marriage. Marriage is a give and take. You're going to win some battle as a man, and she's going to win some. But when it's all said and done, you both got to put your head together and you can probably come one. Okay? When you get married, you got to make sure you take care of your wife because that's your responsibility. You got to make sure she needs is met. You got to make sure she's all right. Because when God gave you a wife, the Bible said, man that find a wife find a good thing.
A good thing.
Okay, that's your wife. Okay, now you got to get married. You got to communicate. Although you might don't feel like talking, but sometimes you got to communicate. Women's are different from men's. Okay, women's, when you get them a little upset, they will talk. Why are you talking? Under their tongue. But men's a little different. Men's will talk loud, and they go outside, slam the door, come back, and they still want to get their point across. But women's are a little different. They will sit there, look at you, laugh, and talk on your breath. They go in the bathroom, cut the water on, and they be talking while you just sit there, and you be saying, "You talking to me?" "No, I'm just singing to myself." But deep down inside, they be saying, And then, and one thing about a man, amen, he'll get upset and he'd start talking loud and he'd start pushing stuff out the way. But his wife is right there to comfort them. The Bible says, when you have a wife, that's your responsibility. She's like a pearl and ruby, so if she want a diamond and a pearl, you got to go out and buy it. If she want a mink coat, you got to go out and buy it because that's what God gave to you. That's your good thing.
Amen. Well, Apostle, listen, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this interview.
My pleasure.
I really pray and hope that some people will watch and actually get to know you in the church. So, having said that, I just want to say to our viewers that this program can be viewed at 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Wednesday mornings, channel 36 if you're a Verizon user. If you're Cablevision, channel 70. Once again, we are here with Apostle Louis D. Bligen, pastor of Salvation and Deliverance Church of the Bronx, New York. And having said that, I just want to tell everyone, be blessed, stay with God so that you can stay blessed. God bless you. Have a good worship and God.